in future, I'm going to update the agenda to start the recording as an item on the agenda so that I don't forget in future. So with that, as Toastmaster of the day, I'm really happy to see the faces and see people here eager to do their roles. Our first item on the agenda is word of the day. So I invite Sheila to present to us the word of the day.
So I found this word really interesting, not in the spelling or the definition, but in origination and history of it. So the word today is yaw, which is a verb, and it is used for the action of a ship, aircraft, or spaceship or projectile. It means to move to the left and right, especially in an uncontrolled manner. More broadly, yaw is used as a synonym for alternate to change. And one, if you change back and forth. For instance, to use it in a sentence, the rogue wave hit the vessel and the ship yawed hard to the right. And the context, the cut of the control motion radiated down the spacecraft itself, which began a yawing and pitching in response to the force. And that actually happened, and Jeffrey Kluger in the Time magazine quoted in November 2025. So the reason I found that so interesting is because there was a time when a lot of transportation was done by sailing, and a lot of sailing terms creeped into the vernacular at that time. And very few words stayed to 2026, and yaw is one of them. So, and should have started out with this. Word of the day is to expand our vocabulary and to make us more proficient at using them. So if you use the word of the day today in a sentence, the counter, which is me, will keep track, and that will be great. Thanks.
Thank you. Sheila, how do you spell that?
Oh, YAW, yaw. And I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you. Well, we're going to have a bit of a yaw right at this moment because our first speaker is not signed on at this moment. Our first speaker of the day is Tara. And so I'll just put a question mark next to her name. So we're going to move on to our second speaker of the day. Our second speaker of the day is one of our newer Toastmasters, Che. Che is going to be giving us a presentation from the Level 1 pathways for writing a speech with a purpose. This is going to be a 5 to 7 minute speech where she's going to, I believe, open up a little door and give us an insight into herself, almost like an extension of our icebreaker. She's going to give us a speech entitled Finding the Calm Within. And I imagine that is within Che. So let us welcome Che for her speech, Finding the Calm Within.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karen. Let me share my screen.
I'm sorry, I wanted to just quickly ask before you start, am I going to be the evaluator for this speech, or Karen, because our first speaker is not going to be here?
Felice, we're going to put you on hold, and if Tara does come ready to speak, then you can evaluate her. Otherwise, you will be not assigned to a role.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Our evaluator for this speech is going to be Tiara.
All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Everyone but me. I think maybe it's hidden behind a different screen.
I don't see it either. I'm sorry.
I don't see it.
Nodded because I don't know. Now I do.
Okay. Great. So I'll start now.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
The average person has thousands of thoughts every day. Many of them revolve around what happened in the past and what might happen in the future. Our minds are constantly racing, jumping from one thought to the next, while the world around us keeps moving just as fast. Over time, we've become so conditioned to the constant noise that we often don't realize how much it affects us. We've become so accustomed to living everywhere except the present moment that calmness has begun to feel like a luxury rather than a necessity. Yet the only moment we can actually live in is the present. So, how do we bring ourselves back to the present in a world that constantly pulls our attention in every direction? How do we find a moment of calm in a world that can seem chaotic? One of the simplest ways is through meditation. When many people hear the word meditation, they picture an image such as this one, someone sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop or chanting for hours. While images such as this exist, meditation is actually much simpler than that. At its core, meditation is the practice of intentionally focusing your attention. It can be as simple as closing your eyes, taking slow, deep breaths, and gently bringing your mind back whenever it begins to wander. It's something I actually practice before giving this speech. The beauty of meditation is that it doesn't require special equipment, a membership, or even a lot of time. You can practice it in your living room, during your commute to work, or even during your lunch break. Meditation isn't about stopping your thoughts or achieving a perfectly quiet mind. Instead, it's about gently redirecting your attention to something happening right now. For many people, that begins with something we do every moment of every day without even thinking about it, which is breathing. By focusing on each inhale and exhale, we give our minds an anchor, a place to return to whenever our minds begin to wander. As our attention settles on the rhythm of our breathing, our body begins to relax, our minds begin to become less reactive, and we create space between ourselves and the constant stream of thoughts. Over time, this simple practice can help reduce stress. Our minds are often racing from one thought to the next, thinking about yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's responsibilities. Meditation encourages us to return to the present moment. While it doesn't eliminate life's challenges, it can change how we respond to them. Instead of reacting immediately, we become more thoughtful, more patient, and more aware. Meditation also improves focus. Think of attention like a muscle. The more you practice bringing your mind back to a single point of focus, such as your breathing, the stronger that muscle becomes. Over time, many people find it easier to concentrate on conversations, work, or other daily tasks. Meditation also helps us become more self-aware. Often we move through life on autopilot. We react before we think. We worry before we understand. Meditation gives us the opportunity to pause and observe our thoughts without immediately judging them. That simple pause can help us make wiser decisions and communicate more effectively with the people around us. All of these factors can help cultivate a greater sense of internal calmness and reduce that mental yaw. Now I know that some of you guys may be thinking, I've tried meditation and I couldn't stop thinking. The truth is that that's completely normal. Meditation is not about having an empty mind. It's about noticing when your mind has wandered and gently bringing it back. Every time you do that, you're practicing. In fact, that is the meditation. You don't have to meditate for an hour every day to experience benefits. Even 5 minutes of quiet breathing can make a difference. Small, consistent moments often have a greater impact than occasional long sessions. And I'd like to leave you all with a challenge. Tomorrow morning, before checking your phone or beginning your daily routine, set a timer for just 5 minutes to sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. When your mind wanders, and it probably will, simply bring your attention back to your breath without criticizing yourself. 5 minutes, that's all. You may not notice a dramatic change after one session, but over time, you may find yourself feeling calmer, thinking more clearly, and responding to life's challenges with greater patience. In a world that constantly tells us to do more and go faster, meditation reminds us of something equally important. Sometimes that the most productive thing we can do is to simply pause. So I would like everyone to practice taking in 3 deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth while focusing on your breath. So when I count down from 3, we'll take those breaths. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in and out. In and out. And the last one, in and out. Breath focus and meditation is that simple, and something I'll try to do more of and encourage you all to do as well. Thank you all so much for your participation in that exercise, and that concludes my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Che. So you were assigned to give us a speech with a purpose, and you very well gave us your purpose of informing us about meditation. Thank you. We'll now move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Bill Moylan. Now, Bill's been a Toastmaster for a while, and so he's learned a few things and has a few opinions of what it means to be a wise professor. And he is going to opine for 5 to 7 minutes on the wise professor. This is from his Dynamic Leadership Level 2, Understanding Your Communication Style. So as a wise professor, I want to see how much does he understand his communication style. Welcome, Bill. Bill, please unmute yourself.
There we go. Can you see my screen now?
Can see you and hear you.
Very good. My apologies. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Some years ago, I took a career yaw. It was an interesting thing when I was asked, have you ever thought of teaching at a university level? My answer is no. Why do you ask? Well, we could find a position for you here at Lawrence Tech in that. Well, this really wasn't my piece, but I found how one communicates in the classroom with students, particularly graduate students, was something I was a bit adept for. And so, in this path of dynamic leadership, I like to share with you what I learned. First, being that professor, I did take the pathway survey in my communication style, and I put on that professorial hat and used that to take me through. But what I found is being the instructor, I really had to be the sage on the stage. I came in as that subject matter expert, and I had to use a direct communication style, straight lecture. I knew my stuff, and I just had to share it with the audience. Seemingly, that's easy enough. But then, likewise, when I did yaw again from part-time adjunct to full-time at Eastern Michigan, I had to become much more analytical. One, it's the scholarly research. It's true. It's publish or perish in academia. So I had to learn that language and communication style of the researcher. Also, and it was both at Lawrence and again at Eastern Michigan, using the Socratic method. See, this is why us professors have beards. Questions, comments, and you could solicit that with the audience. But likewise, being the professor, I also had to be an advisor. I find I had to step back and start being the guide on the side. And this is where two other communication styles became critical. One was initiating. in terms of working full-time at a university, I had to do outreach to my program, department, college, and university, and community engagement and service to my professor. And I can tell you, in academe, they don't come to you, you got to go to them. Another part was being very supportive as an advisor and a counselor. Much of it was on career advice, but more importantly, I found it was how to navigate graduate school for the graduate students. Now, undergrad at Eastern Michigan, we had a lot of the traditional students. They came from high school and they meandered their way through a curriculum, hoping for something at the end. But in grad school, it was predominantly evening students. They were working, they had families, they had many designs on their time. So then it was being that, that advisor and counselor to them of how to navigate their way of all these different requirements that they had to do. For them, it was likewise a yaw because it was a change in their persona and their responsibilities from their day job, responsibilities at home and at work, and then likewise back into the classroom. So, being that wise professor, I found it was really blending a lot of different communication styles. Being that sage on the stage, I had to be a direct communicator as a subject matter expert as I would lecture, being more analytical as that scholarly thinker. Also, I had to be initiating active engagement within the university in all its different levels, as well as the outside with my community, as well as my profession, and being that supportive advisor and counselor. So when you add these all together, that's what becomes that wise professor, that multifaceted communicator that can yaw from one style to another. Madam Toastmaster.
Bill, this is the second time I heard that speech, but it's the first time I noticed your graphic of that mad professor on your final slide, and I really liked that. That was really cute. Thanks. So now we've had a chance to hear a couple of, I think, excellent prepared speeches. We're ready to go into extemporaneous speech. And I want to welcome Toastmaster Tracy Soderberg for her very first time being our table topics master. So please unmute yourself, Tracy, and tell us what is your theme. And I think with the number of people and the time we have today, you could probably give a question to every person.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karen and beloved sister. My theme is vacation because we're mid-July. So it's time to, if you haven't thought about that yet, it's time. So I have 12 questions prepared and the theme is vacations. So do I call on somebody first or how does that, do I call on someone or do volunteers?
Typically, we call on people because typically, if you ask for volunteers, you spend a lot of time waiting for someone to raise their hand.
Well, I'm going to call on the order I see people in my screen. Okay, so Bill, you are the first one on my screen at least. So, but numbers 1 to 12. Pick a number and we'll see what happens here.
Number 9.
Okay, number 9. If you could vacation with anybody from history, who would it be?
Thank you, Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The one person I would like to vacation with, anyone from history, is someone who did a lot of wandering and public speaking as he would travel throughout his region, and that would be Jesus Christ. He was a fisherman, which I can get into. He certainly knew how to connect with people, which I would find interesting. And he went to a lot of some very interesting places throughout the country at that time, Palestine, now Israel. I did have an opportunity to visit Israel at one time and did go to some of the places he had been in. And it seems that though he was quite the prolific public speaker, he always didn't quite connect with certain audiences. So I thought that would be rather interesting to see how he would handle that and do it. So my traveling companion would be Jesus Christ on an upcoming vacation. Tracy.
Well, thank you, fellow Toastmaster Bill. That's an amazing answer, and I love it. Okay. The next up is Toastmaster Karen Baird. I'm not sure if that's your title or not, but you're on mute. All right, pick a number 1 through 12, but not number 9. What?
8.
8. Okay, 8. Would you prefer on a vacation to take a classic cross-country road trip or fly to an international destination?
Fellow Toastmasters, the family I grew up in, 2 parents, 5 kids in that big Chevy station wagon. Every year it was the road trip. We took the road trip from basically Baltimore, Glen Burnie, Maryland, to Michigan, and then even further into Michigan for 2 weeks. I love the road trip. You know, I've gotten past that. You're on my side of the car, don't touch me. I've gotten past all that. That is not part of my road trips anymore. Now my road trips are fun. We stop whenever I want to. I don't have to wait for my mom or dad to say it's time for a break. I can make a break anytime I want. And I love going on road trips. I love going through the small towns and seeing what small towns are like now. Some are great, some are thriving, and some are sort of recoiling from the past. I love going to the little mom and pop restaurants. I like to see the sites that are local and ask local people what's good to see or do around here. To me, when you're going on that road trip, you're connecting with people all along the way. You are insinuating yourself into a lifestyle that other people are experiencing. It's a lot of fun. I take nothing away from people who like to jet set out to someplace fancy, someplace far, someplace mysterious. That's great for you. For me, I just like that slice of life, and I'll have a little slice of that life all along the way. Madam Topics Master.
Well, thank you, Toastmaster Karen. I recall you mentioning one time the pub and grub, and you were hoping to find the pop and slop. But setting that aside on your road trip, I too have good memories of those road trips, except I had a brother who would do, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, something like that. How annoying. Okay. Fellow Toastmaster, Alan Turner. It's your turn. And what number would you like between 1 and 12, but not number 8 or 9? Can't hear you.
Let me have number 1.
All right. If money and time were no object, where in the world would you go for your next vacation?
Well, lately we've been traveling the national parks, and we've been to probably about 15 of them. We've hit most of the highlight ones that you would know about, the ones you hear about all the time. And we have delayed going to California because I didn't want to spend any money there. Gas was like $6 a gallon, and there's other reasons. But I think I would want to go to Yosemite. There's a place there called what's that big rock called there? I forget the name of the big rock there. There, all
El
the rock climbers
Capitan?
go. That one, El Capitan, and one man actually scaled El Capitan with no equipment. He did it with his fingers and his toes all the way. He's the single only person that's ever done that. I'd love to go see El Capitan and the rest of what that park has to offer. It's the last really big park that I want to see. All the rest would be fluff. But yes, Yosemite would be my choice. Thank you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan. What a great answer. Please don't try it though. Don't try to scale it on your own. Okay, the next up from my screen is fellow Toastmaster Sheila. Pick a number, 1 to 12. You cannot have 1, 8, or 9.
2, Tracy, thank
2.
you.
Okay. Would you rather spend your vacation relaxing on a quiet beach or exploring a bustling historic city?
Oh, Tracy, that's a really good question. My inclination is I like to explore, but I loathe cities. Or I don't loathe cities like I loved London, but St. Louis not that great. But sitting on the beach, I I would like to go to a beach, but I'm not somebody who would be like relaxed staying there for hours. So it's very hard for me to answer that question. I think exploring, great, and it depends on the city. There are times like my nephew lives in San Francisco, and he was talking about he has this app on his phone. If he sees feces of any kind, he can just text this number and they'll take care of it. And then they text a picture of how they took care of it and what they did and the space now. And that sounds horrible to me. I I have been to San Francisco. I love it, but exploring that scares me a little bit. Like that would ruin my day. And I love to explore, but I would much rather see a cottonmouth on a trail than see poop on the sidewalk of any persuasion. Thank you, Madam Topics Master.
Well, thank you, fellow Toastmaster Sheila, for your great insights. I don't disagree with any of it. Okay, so next up is Toastmaster Felice.
Can I have number 3?
3? Okay. Number 3, if you could step into any fictional location for a vacation, where would you go?
If I can go to any fictional location, the first thing that came to my mind is the book by a French author. I can't say his name, but it's Little Prince. And there are multiple. He travels to different planets and see the sunrise, sunsets, and then there was a rose and all those fancy stuff in the. It's more like a fairy tale kind of style. That book. That's what I am thinking right now. So if I can go, I'd probably go to those planets. And the one thing that I really love to watch is sunrise and sunset. So I'm thinking about like from what I have read when I was reading that book. That's the most deepest impression that I had is that at different planets you got to see all those views, and I would like to see that. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Felice. Yeah, that sounds great. I was thinking of Doctor Who visiting different planets. Okay, next up is Toastmaster Che. Pick a number. You cannot have 1, 2, 3, 8, or 9.
I'll go with 10. Topics master.
Okay. 10. What do you think is the perfect amount of time to spend on a vacation?
That's a good question. I think the perfect amount of time to spend on a vacation, I would say a good month. It gives you enough time to fully embrace an environment and take in the area, embrace the culture and the people. And it also gives you enough time to relax. I feel like having like 1 or 2 weeks isn't necessarily enough time because you try to fit in so much into a short period of time. So I think having a month gives you enough time to space all of the activities out while also resting and not having to be so busy during your stay in vacation there. So I think that's the best time to relax while also fully embracing an area or a location.
Thank you, Toastmaster Che. And that month long would give you a little recovery time too, right? Because you got to recover. You need a vacation from the vacation. Okay. All right. And now, Toastmaster Tiara. You can ask from 1 to 12, not 1, 2, 3, and not 8, 9, 10.
Number 7.
7. Lucky number 7. Okay. Let me see. If you were forced to take a staycation at home for 2 weeks, what activities would you plan to keep yourself entertained?
That is a great question. Hello, fellow Toastmasters, and excellent questions, Madam Table Topics Master. So, what I would do, I have many ideas with this. I recently took a staycation for a week not long ago. Typically, I vacation, but I challenged myself this year to do a staycation. So for me, it would be day one would be a trip at the spa. I would do a massage, drink some tea, uh, meditate, as Chea mentioned. But my first day would be all about Zen and just relaxing, enjoying the moments. No kids, no husband, just a day of relaxation. And then for day number 2, I would actually splurge and go shopping. So I would spend my day at the mall, assuming there's no budgets, and just spend as much money as I would like. And day 3, spending time with family. So maybe take the family out for ice cream and maybe go for a stroll in the park. Yeah, so staycations, I've learned in my past, I thought that staycations were torture, but at this phase in my life, I actually appreciate the staycation and the quality time because sometimes on vacation, I need a vacation from the vacation. So staycations are nice, but just making sure you have time there to relax and enjoy it and not fill it up with too much busy time. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tiara. And what a great answer that is. I think we've all overbooked when we've our time on vacations in the past, and then you have work the next day and it's terrible. So yeah, staycation sounds great. All right, well, that was everybody. So back to you, Toastmaster Karen.
There we go. All right. We're ready to go into our evaluation portion of the meeting, and I'm excited because this will be a first-time evaluation for Tiara to give an evaluation of the speaker, Che. So today our evaluators will be Tiara evaluating Che, followed by Sheila evaluating Bill. Evaluations are typically 2 to 3 minutes. So I will ask Tiara to step up to the virtual microphone and begin your evaluation of speaker Che.
Okay, thank you. Hello again, fellow Toastmasters. So, first of all, Che, I thought that was a wonderful speech. I like the way that you had personal experience on the topic and then you delivered it in a calm way. And I can tell that you probably did some meditation before it, and that's an example of it really working well. But I thought that your speech was really, really good. I thought it was relevant, especially in today's busy time. So, way to connect with the audience and to deliver some helpful advice that anybody could use, no matter what age, or even like male or female. So I thought you did a great job. So the things that you excelled at, I thought the topic was definitely relatable. And then you also seem to have a lot of knowledge in this area. So it's not just something that you read or picked up off of the internet, but something that you've actually practiced your self. So I like that you gave bite-sized tips to us to practice, and not this big thing of going on like a meditation journey of like, needing to go to some off-site spot. But I thought that you really excelled at keeping the message simple but yet relevant, and then in bite-sized chunks where anybody could practice it. So that 5 minutes a day, I thought that that was really excellent. So great job on that. And then the categories that I ranked you, well, some of the other items were, let's see, what else was on this evaluation sheet? So items that you may want to work on. I think that you actually did a fantastic job, but if I had to know anything, maybe just pace, just slow down a bit more. But I think you did excellent. So not really too much feedback from my side on that. The next item was to challenge yourself. I like that you involved us, especially in that invited us to take some deep breaths. So I definitely like that you engaged the audience. So kudos for that. But I guess to challenge yourself, maybe involve the audience by getting feedback from the audience. But I thought that what you did was perfect, and just having us do some breathing. So I thought that that was perfect for this particular forum. So for your clarity, I rated you as excels, vocal variety excels, eye contact excels, your gestures were were good. I put exemplary for that, or excels for that. Your interest and purpose, I put a 5 for that. I thought that you were definitely engaged into the audience and it was well constructed content. Your comfort level, I put excels, and general speech purpose excel. So overall, Jay, I thought that you did a fantastic job and even motivated me to actually go and do a 5 minute meditation after this. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. And now we'll come to Toastmaster Sheila Boswell in her um, in her evaluation of speaker number 3, Bill Moylan.
Thanks, Karen. Bill, you have done this speech and you show how you distinguished Toastmaster, excellent, like displayed right there. But I thought the topic was great and it touched me specifically because I taught for a year and I hated it. And then when you said like literally, and I was terrible at it. Like I made one student cry multiple times. But I also thought it made me look at it more positively, and you did a really good job with hand gestures and your vocal variety and all the things. It was like textbook. The one thing I could say that uh, just, I mean, it was silly at the beginning. The technology seemed to be of an issue, and I know that that's hard on this medium. You can't see what other people see. But what we saw, we didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at the time because by this time it was like I didn't know how to do it without interrupting you. So maybe we should come up with a process for that. But it was a lot of monitor and you could see your screen inside that screen. So I saw that your screensaver was the ocean and I could see the next slide and but the slide you were speaking on was really small. And I think that that could be done better, but I know in this medium it's really like a challenge because you can't see necessarily what other people see. And I I cannot say enough how much I was like enjoyed your speech because it made a very positive outlook and it was approachable. Like I was a grad student older and later in life, and I didn't have somebody navigating the graduate system, right? And that really spoke to me. The fact that that would make a difference in a graduate student's life. And they're busy, they're having to navigate stuff and juggle life and school and work. And the way you laid it out positively, like that's something that, has to be done. I like when my opinions are reinforced to me, but I think that would make grad school better for the student, not just being a sage on the stage or, but also being that other guide, right? Like that's the important part. And you conveyed that really well. And your communication, that's part of why I think I was terrible at it, is because my communication at the time wasn't great and it improved it. There was a lot of brutal lessons in that, but I feel like you do a great job and we're seeing the finished product. I'm not your student, but that seems like it would be great. That's all I have. And thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm now going to go into my role as table topics evaluator. I want to observe overall that, and I like this very much, every person who got their table topic, you came up with your theme, you gave your examples or your details, and then you had a little conclusion at the end. I think table topics has been, maybe Toastmasters in general has been training us, right? And we are making even our table topics responses into a little mini speech. And that is the whole purpose of table topics, is for us to organize our thoughts, give people a little preview, a body, and a conclusion. And every single person did that. And I'm going to talk about everyone except myself. So Bill, you asked us a vacation with a person from history, and you immediately came up with the person that you were interested in. What I liked about your answer is you gave us a historic perspective of why, the characteristics of the person, and the challenges that you wanted to observe and become part of. So you gave us those 3 examples, 3 different dimensions of your answer. So that's something that we could all aspire to do, is to have, when you're asked a question, try to give the 3 different dimensions of an answer. So I wanted to highlight that. Alan, your next vacation, you wanted to go to Yosemite and El Capitan, see El Capitan. What I liked about your table topic is that you were very specific. You started out general, but then you honed it in on a focal point of a specific answer, and not just of what you wanted to do, but why and where and why. So you're like the what, how, when, where, why. You had 3 of those right there in your answer. That's another thing we should all try to aspire to do. Make sure we answer those questions that people have. Even the ones that they don't ask specifically, you can expand in your responses. Sheila, oh Sheila, you did the old switcheroo. We asked you what you wanted, beach or city, and your answer was no. So your answer was, no, I don't want either one of those, and I'll tell you why. And you told us exactly why. You didn't want to hang around on a boring beach. You didn't want to explore around a filthy, disgusting city. So you gave us the switcheroo. Contrast. Contrast is very effective. It's because people have their mind going one way and you give them the contrast, you show them the other side. So that's something that we can all use effectively in our everyday life make sure that you don't fall into the trap. Somebody says, what do you want, A or B? You don't have to say A or B. You can always say none of the above, C, D, or F. Keep that in mind. And you did it with, you did it still within the context of an impromptu speech with a summary at the end. Felice, fictional location. I couldn't quite catch if it was called Little Pranks or Little Planets or Little Planks. I wasn't quite sure I catch the title of that.
It's a Little Prince.
Prince. Okay, Prince. I'm
Sorry
sorry.
about that.
The accent got me. The accent got me that time. Sorry about that. So Little Prince. So you're visiting different planets, and when you talked about visiting the different planets, you gave us some reasons why you wanted to visit the planets, and specifically the sunrise, sunset on the different planets. That reminded me of when I saw some pictures of the sunrise and sunset of Mars. How during the daytime the sky is red, and during the sunrise, sunset the sky turns blue, just the opposite of Earth. So I liked how you came up with that answer, that fictional answer, and you gave us a little insight into why. So that gives us an insight into the things that you would do if only you could, if you had your magical powers. So that's good. All right. Che, the perfect amount of time on a vacation. Like the others, you gave us the answer right away, but then you gave us the reasons behind. And you gave us two main reasons, the relaxation and the embracing of the people and the place. You gave us examples of what you meant by that, and in the end you wrapped it up nicely with a wrap-up conclusion. You know, everybody here is getting really good. I'm happy and proud of you. Tiara, staycation. My gosh, girl, I thought you were going to give us a 1 day. I thought when you hit that third day, I thought, oh my gosh, what's coming on day 4, 5, 6, and 7? You sounded like you already had this planned out as an answer. So I was very impressed that you had given us such detailed responses, at least for day 1, 2, and 3. You left the rest to our imagination. But it seemed like it was very organized format in the way you delivered it. So as we evaluate the table topics, it's not so that we can say, you did this wrong and you did this right. It's so that we can see how different people approach giving their answers, and we can always make use of those same kind of attributes the next time we're put on the spot and we have to give an impromptu answer. So I hope that you found this beneficial for me to highlight what we did well and what we can do in the future. Our next part, thank you. And moving on, our next part of the evaluation, before I move on, our official general evaluator did not appear today. We still have the odd counters report, the timers report, and the general evaluation. Would anybody, I don't want to take everything. If somebody else would like a chance, would anyone like a chance to be the general evaluator after the odd counter and timer report? Felice? Okay, great. Felice, thanks. I will pencil you in, and I'll make sure that I update the agenda for historical reference. For our odd counter grammarian report, I'll ask Sheila, who gave us the word of the day, to step forward and give us the odd counter grammarian report.
Thank you, Karen. I just think it's important to add on what Karen said about everybody improving. And generally speaking, speeches do not have any filler words. There's no there's no, just, you guys have done really good at that. And I want to just point out that Bill used the word of the day multiple times. I think 3, if I counted correctly. And it didn't seem forced. It seemed like Karen used it, and it didn't seem forced when you used it, but you worked it into your speech and it was great. And I appreciated that. And I kept track, but I just wanted to say everybody's speech, any of these counts do not have speeches in them. The times it creeps in is, for me specifically, I didn't count myself, but I know that when I do impromptu speaking, a lot of filler words come in. a lot of some filler words come in when I'm giving an evaluation because that's outside my comfort zone. So I'm thinking that's where the numbers really get hit. Karen, I have one word of the day and one filler word for you. Che, one word of the day and 3 filler words. Bill Moylan. Oh, I had 4 word of the days listed for you in a different place. I took notes in a different place. No filler words. And Tracy, you used 4 filler words. And you talked for a long time. I mean, when you're table topics master, you have to respond to everybody's impromptu speech. So there's a lot of filler words used there. Alan, you had 2 filler words. I didn't count myself, but I know that I used filler words. I'm aware of it now. Felice, 1 filler word and 1 Tiara, you used 5 filler words. Again, with that count went up during word of the day, like not word of the day, but like when you were doing impromptu speaking. And I think that's everybody that I took notes for. Sorry. Back to you, Karen. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And now let's ask Alan, Toastmaster Alan, to give us the timers report.
You want the speeches first?
Yes.
Okay, Shay was slated to give a 5 to 7 minute, and she gave 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Good job.
So she did come in within the parameters. Bill was on a 5 to 7 minute speech, and he did 5 minutes and 26 seconds.
Right.
So he also fulfilled that requirement. Do you want times for the evaluations?
No, let's do table topics next, then we'll do evaluations.
Okay, I wasn't sure, so I did keep track of the evaluations as well. For the table topics, Bill gave 1 minute and 8 seconds. And I think the requirement is 1 to 2 minutes. Karen gave 1 minute 49. Alan gave 1 minute 20. Sheila, 1 minute 26. Belize, 1 minute 15. Shay, 49 seconds. And Tiara, 1 minute 45. And that's all of the table topics contributors.
And evaluations?
Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Did you time the evaluations?
Yes, I did.
Let's go ahead.
Do you want me to give those? Okay, evaluations. There were only 2 today. Tara evaluated Shay at 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So it exceeded the parameter by 19 seconds. Sheila evaluated Bill at 3 minutes and 1 second. So that just went 1 second into the red. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you, Alan. You did a great job. I saw you putting the yellow, green, yellow, red backgrounds up. Like that's, perfection in the timers world. Got all the timings written down and all the backgrounds shown. So I applaud you, first time as timer. I applaud Tiara, first time evaluator, and Tracy, first time table topics master. So everybody is growing and stretching into new roles. Really appreciate that. Now we're going to go into the general evaluation of the meeting, and I will ask Toastmaster Felice Wong to give us her general evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karen Baird. For today's meeting, we had scheduled for 3 speakers, and a few members did not come to the meeting eventually, so we ended up having just 2 speakers, and they each gave a very excellent speech. I really enjoyed that. And a little bit for about Bill's speech. Here's actually the reason I wanted to do the general evaluation. I wanted to give this comment to you. I think it looks like to me, you probably shared, you have two screens for the presentation and you shared the other one instead of the actual presentation page. But it actually, I like that even better than seeing the full presentation page because I can see what the note you had and I can see how you look through the note and give your presentation. And even I know there are some of the animations that coming into different bullet points and pictures starting jumping into the presentation. I see how you look at the note and how you speak on those points and then how you show those things in there. It's like I am looking at the show from the front all the time, and this is the time I go to the backstage and I see actually how it works in the back. And that's I really appreciate that experience, really. So that was an unexpected learning experience to me. And our for the next portion, our table topics. Tracy, you gave a very interesting topic to all of us and very timely topic to all of us. And everybody can give their answers from their own perspective. And this was also a successful table topics. And we also had the two evaluations, speech evaluations that was given to the speakers to help them understand what the things they did very well and all the any kind of improvements that can be done. And our table topics evaluation, thank you, Karen, for giving that thorough evaluation for all of our table topics answers. And also looking at the time, I'm checking on the schedule agenda on our time. We are just on time right now. We're at 7:02. So it's minus 6 minutes from that skipped speaking. So we are perfectly on time today. That concludes my general evaluation for today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. At this point, we have some open discussion. Before we go to open discussion, I want to quickly share and flash my screen of upcoming meeting roles. So if you'll indulge me for that for one moment. Oh, I lost my share button. Let me find it again. All right. So here we have, I know it's all color coordinated for my convenience, but you can see that for our next meeting on July 28th, we have these roles laid out. So if you see your name there next to the role, you can see what we have planned for next time. So keep that in mind. We, of course, will be sending this out closer to the meeting time, but be prepared with the idea of coming with your speech or your role being ready. I did hear a suggestion that maybe we could have just for the fun of it, and I think it's fun because I love it, is we could have a dad joke themed meeting next time. So if you're not familiar with dad jokes, they're just those corny one-line punchers. You know, we're just gonna look up some dad jokes, and the idea is that no matter what you're doing in the meeting, when it comes your turn to speak, you will include or start with a dad joke. All right. So next meeting we'll have the theme of dad jokes. You can see the person who suggested it is now applauding. All right. So let's go into. Are there any questions or comments about the meeting, about Toastmasters, anything anyone wants to bring up? At this point, it's time for general discussion. Bill.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My apologies for screwing up my presentation. I actually was the first one on in practice at getting my face with the piece and everything. But there was something when I tried to unmute myself and immediately go to it, it put me back on mute. So who knows? One request though, Karen, you're VP of Education. My path completion for engaging humor, you need to approve that.
I'm sorry, Bill, I thought I did, so I'll check
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because here's the interesting part for everyone. My level 5 was approved, but now what they're doing is they're saying you get the points when you complete the path, because there's that reflection. So it's actually, again, a two-step process. So you get level 5 done, then you've got to do the reflection, and then it's another thing where it's now path completion.
Okay.
And it's as opposed to getting points for doing a level 5, you now get the points for path completion. Who know,
I'll make sure that I do that, and
yes,
thank you for bringing that to my
appreciate
attention, Bill.
it. And then do you know when they're going to make us officially 216 on the website for Toastmasters International?
I
I
haven't
keep,
seen that. I haven't heard that yet. I noticed that the website is up and running, and I don't know when they are officially going to change it on the DCP screen. I see that on the DCP screen, we're still listed as 28. I'm thinking that since July 1st is the beginning of the new year, usually it takes them about a month to get
yeah,
things organized. So
correct.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't until the end of the month, but I can find out.
Very good.
Sheila?
I just, first of all, everyone, I appreciate the roles, and I should have mentioned this in the club business and stuff, but I really want to focus. We're losing some members. They're not renewing, and we need to like have guests, which we haven't had. And if you think of a way out of the box, thinking out of the box, if you think of a way to increase or invite people, or I don't know, bring a friend, or I don't know how to do this. So just give me any ideas you have. I'd like to, everything seems to be physically having a place, bringing a friend to that. And that's not my reality. Obviously, I'm not in Michigan, so that's definitely not the reality of our club. It's virtual. Anybody can come anywhere. And Alan, you're not in Michigan. So that's reality is not, Felice isn't in Michigan, but she's gone. I'm just,
Mhm.
and Tiara, I want to ask you, I sent an email. Are you the one with the bulldog?
Yes. Yes, I do
Okay.
have a
I
dog.
totally mixed that up. I have been out of it kind of like physically here, but mentally maybe not. And I messed that up earlier today. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Sheila. Tara, you want to make a question or comment?
Yeah, so I saw the agenda for the next meeting, so I can join, but I was wondering if I could be a speaker in the first August meeting instead of the next July meeting.
I'll see what I'll see about swapping you. Swap.
Yeah. And then what would, or if someone could email me or what I should prepare for that speech for that first one in August, that would be helpful.
Okay, yes, we'll make sure that that happens. One thing I've been trying to do, since I'm the one who's been in the club the longest and I got a lot of Toastmaster years under my belt, is I've been trying to send people emails with information about where you could read up, find out about what the different club roles are during the meetings, what are the different officer roles, meeting roles, so that people can have a little bit more grasp of the information available. If you ever have any questions or need help on anything, I'm happy to help people anytime. So please keep that in mind. Alan, question, comment?
Yeah, you have me scheduled for a speech and I don't know where to go to find the guidelines for that. I
Okay,
think you
well,
said something about a purpose, a special
speech with a
purpose.
purpose. So that would be, I'll get together with you. That will be on the Toastmasters Pathways website. It will walk you through what you do to write a speech with a purpose, but you pick your own subject for whatever purpose. Do you want to entertain, inform, persuade? You pick what your purpose is and what your topic will be.
And I'll find the information under pathways.
On pathways, I will, I'll contact you and show you, I'll give you a walkthrough. And,
Okay, good.
And if it's helpful, what I was thinking would be helpful to people, so tell me if it's helpful or not, is creating more videos on walking through different items on how to do things. Would people be interested in seeing videos like that, like maybe a 10 or 15-minute video on how to do things like that? If you're interested, let me know. If you're not interested, that's fine too. I want to know if I should take time to do it or not.
So here's
what I found is that the website itself has so much information. It's hard for a newbie like me to navigate to where I need to go, because there's just volumes of stuff that doesn't even apply to me at this time. So it has so much that I haven't been able to navigate to that place yet. But
Alan,
thank you.
I am good at this. I'm going to address what you said and just pile on a little bit, but I feel overwhelmed, and I'm mid-tier, and I appreciated the video because I might not remember all the places you went to. I'd have to go find them, Karen. But in the video, I know you covered certain things. So I can go back to that video, if that makes sense. So I appreciate that kind of stuff. And that it makes it feel doable, right? Like, I don't know about you, Alan, but when I started, I was like that too. And it's just nice. It's nice to hear that said out loud, that other people have trouble navigating it. Not just me. So
I would like a video as well. That would be very helpful to me.
Okay, great. All right. I'll put together a video, but I'll still meet with you both and help you get started on your next one. What about Tiara? Have you done your icebreaker? I can't remember.
Yeah.
So you are also going to be doing the next speech, which is the one Che did today on doing a speech with a purpose. So that will be your next project. So okay, so we've got 3 people here right now who need to know how to do doing a speech with a purpose. So, and Bill, you need to come off mute.
There we go. It worked this time.
Yeah.
Okay. Toastmasters International has a YouTube, and it gives you a plethora of videos, and you can put in picking a path.
Are you sharing your screen?
I thought I am. No. Yes.
I can see your screen, Phil. So
sometimes it shows up in a different window for me. So sometimes I can't always tell if what I'm still looking at the gallery while somebody else is sharing, and it's behind the gallery for me. But go ahead.
Pick a path and pathways. How's that?
Are you on a YouTube channel, or are you just in YouTube?
No, it's YouTube, but it is the piece, and I'll show you where it's Toastmasters YouTube videos. So if you go to youtube.com/c/Toastmasters/videos, there's the whole library of them.
Okay.
I'll put that in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
The handle. And then I'll stop sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There we go. It's now in the chat.
Okay.
But I totally hear you, Alan. The rest of you, how do you get through this? And you'll learn by mumbling and fumbling around. How's that?
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
But I've been a Toastmaster for a while. I did not even know about this channel. So maybe some of the things that I've been creating have already been created by other people who do it better than me. But I'm definitely going to look through here.
What you can do is then submit them and have them posted. And you'd be surprised, even when they have some of them, They might be old or what have you, but it's something that you can share with it, and they can get posted.
Okay, great,
So,
thank you. Thanks for that information. All right, I think that's all I have. Does anybody else have anything that they want to share, or questions or comments for today? All right, so I'll Tiara, I'll go to the planning section and swap you and see if I can find somebody else to do that spot. And let's see, to do Sheila, how to increase guests. And Bill, I will check on your path completion. With that, I'm ready to conclude the meeting. I don't know what I did with my.
I have the gavel and that you sent me,
Please.
Karen, so I can do that. Meeting concluded.
Thank
That's the first
you.
time I've done that. Smack.
Thank
Love that.
you.
Feels good.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and maybe I'll talk to you before that. All right, bye-bye.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.